Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Judy Lee and you can find out more about what I do in the description box below. So today we're here to do a pick a card or pick a crystal about how you can increase love in your life. And it's a really interesting topic. If you want to get straight into the reading, then please click on the timestamp below and just get straight into it. But I just want to just quickly say that it's interesting about love because it's almost the more that we can love ourselves, the more that we will see love increase in our outer world. And there's a lot out there about people having romantic relationships and things like that, but for me, my perspective is that when we can really love ourselves, then that's when we can truly love another. And so it's almost that process of really getting to learn to love and accept ourselves on a really deep level. And then, that external love that we're seeking will just come to us naturally. It's just almost, natural consequence of doing the work for ourselves and putting that energy into ourselves. And so, whether you're wanting to improve a relationship with someone you care about, or whether it's you're wanting to attract a soulmate into your life, or whether it's just to increase love in general in your life, it's about really focusing on increasing the love that you have for yourself, on a very general level, so that when you start to love yourself internally and accept who you are, then you'll see that reflected in the outer world. So I just want to share a bit about that, so that kind of understood where I'm coming from when I'm doing this reading. So we've got 3 groups to choose from. We've got card 1 here, card 2 and card 3. And then, always lovely to have crystals. So we've got the rose quartz, just a polished stone, which is, I love rose quartz a lot. Very beautiful stone. And then we've got here malachite, which is a beautiful new crystal that was gifted to me by my brother, his wife, and their 2 girls. And it's it's amazing that they're always thinking of me, so I appreciate it so much. And it's actually, malachite never really attracts me, but this one is really beautiful. And it's lovely when it's actually given to you. And then we've got this blue crystal here, and I did actually look it up, but I can't quite remember the name again. I will get it right one time, but to see if that's attractive to you. So choose a group based on either the card that you see or the crystal that you like. So that's group 1, 2 and 3. And then just click on the timestamp in the description box below and I'll take you to your reading. Okay, see you very soon. Bye. Hi group 1, welcome to your reading. And so we're here today to look at how you can increase, or how to increase the love in your life. Whether that's with a special person in your life, or you're trying to mend a relationship, or just in general. And like I said in the video, at the beginning of the video, it's about, how can you be more loving to yourself, because by doing that, you'll find that the love in your life will just naturally increase as a result. And so the card that you've got is to sleep and to slow down, which is, very interesting. I'm also noticing the 3-3 and the number 6, which for me represents love as well. So it's really about giving yourself time to rest and recover, and and to take things slowly and easily. If you've been, for example, rushing around, trying to achieve things, trying to do things, really give yourself that nurturing and that time to really, just breathe even is what I'm feeling. And also like seeing the sunset, it's almost slowing down so that you notice what's happening around you and to appreciate all those things. We're so busy sometimes in life, trying to achieve the next best thing, and I know this very well because that is my personality as well. To just keep doing things, but if you look at this card, I mean, how beautiful. Could you imagine, if you're living in a place where there's snow, to just appreciate the warmth, or the beauty that's around us all the time, yet we don't take that time to slow down to really notice it. And so, if you really want to increase that love and that loving feeling in your life, then really start to see what's around you. When you slow down, you start to notice that actually there is a lot of love around you, and maybe you even start to notice the love that you have for yourself, and by doing nice things for yourself, such as giving yourself a break when you need to, or going to bed early when you're feeling tired, or having a nap in the afternoon. All these things are loving acts that you can do for yourself. So really pay attention to those messages that you're getting from your body, and just in general about how you're feeling. Let's see what the tarot cards have to say. Let's grab those. Okay, so what's the message for group 1? Oh, message for group 1. Okay. Right. Let's pull these out. I just have to shuffle these across. I'm also just, whilst I'm doing this, it's also just absorbing the energies that are coming through. And then at the bottom of the deck, you've got the High Priestess. And so this is about intuition. And so, it's really important to trust yourself. And, we do this by, learning to hear what is happening inside us, what that inner nudge is, and then to really listen to it. Because when we, it's a loving act as well when we start to trust ourselves, because then we approach life with an openness, and you imagine the opposite. When you feel fearful, untrusting, then how can you really let love into your life when you're in that frame of mind? And so this is really about trusting your intuition, and what feels good for you. Follow those inner urges, or those instincts, I suppose. Follow those things that really give you joy, and give you that love, or that loving feeling, that you can feel it in your heart when you're doing something that feels good for you. If you follow those intuitive nudges, then that's a great way to be loving and kind to yourself. And it really allows you to release stresses and anxiety, and having to know everything. Because when you trust yourself and you trust the universe, then you don't need to know everything that's going to happen. You just sort of allow it to unfold, and it will always do that for our highest good. we're here to learn and grow, and sometimes the things that we find most challenging and painful are the things that really help us to move forward. So just trust that things are unfolding in a perfect way for you. And then we've got the Star card, which is, it's almost like a wish coming true, which is lovely. It's like one part of us is in the emotions, in the water, and the other one is firmly planted in the earth. So there's a balance there as well. But when I see this card come out, the first thing that came to mind when I saw it was, what is it that you really want? What would really fulfill you? What would it feel like to really have more love in your life? And the clearer we can get about that, then the easier it is for things to unfold that way. I mean, there's a rhyme and reason for the way things happen. There's a purpose and perfect timing and things like that. But it's almost, the more that you can get clear about what it is that you want, the easier it is for the energies to flow towards that. And then, interesting enough, you've got the Lovers. So talk about increasing love in your life. And for this is about, you can literally represent the Lovers like two people coming together. But for me, it's also about the masculine and the feminine coming together. And so that means coming together within you. And so it's appreciating all aspects of you, really. Your feminine side, which all of us have, both of male and female. We both have masculine and feminine energy, and the feminine energy is about receiving, being open to ideas, being intuitive, allowing those inner guidance to come to us. Whereas the masculine is about that active part of us, that moving forward, that direction, So it's almost like we allow the feminine energy to receive that inner guidance as to where we need to go, and then the masculine, makes that happen. And so, in order to allow more love into your life, it's really allowing those aspects within you to work together as well, and to appreciate all aspects of yourself. You almost got Adam and Eve there, naked to the angel or to the world, and it's almost like the message I'm getting is loving yourself just as you are. You don't need anything, you don't need to be anything or have anything in order to be loved. You just need to be you. And then we've got the Tower card, which looks a bit scary, but isn't. It's just more, the Tower happens when we've got thoughts, foundations that aren't very stable around ourselves. And so if you don't feel that you're stable about how you feel about yourself, about the love in your life, then come back to yourself. It's almost I see the Tower come through. It's like, yes, if you're going through a hard time, then it's because what you're thinking and believing wasn't right for you. It wasn't true. And so it's almost like you needed things to be shifted so that you could go back onto the right path of how you think and feel about yourself and about love in general. And I keep getting brought back to the High Priestess, which is about, like I said, about trusting yourself and your intuition. And so overall, the message, in order to increase the love in your life, is to rest, slow down, and really feel into what it is that you want in your life. What would it look like to have more love in your life, and to set the intention for that, and to appreciate yourself as you are, and to allow your masculine and feminine energies to work together to guide you forward. And if you are having a tower moment where things feel a bit uncomfortable, just know that it's happening for a reason, and it's part of learning and growing that will increase the love that you experience in your life. So I hope that resonates, group 1, and if you have any questions or feedback, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye. Hi group 2, welcome to your reading. So let's see how you can increase love in your life. So you've got journey. Your life is a sacred gift, and I just love the imagery on these cards. And what I'm getting is really appreciating the journey that you're on. And sometimes we can be really hard on ourselves, and almost look back on our lives and almost critique it or criticize it. I should have done this, and I could have done that instead, and if I'd done this I would have been here by now, and all that type of stuff. But actually, contrary to what we've been taught by society and our caregivers, etc., life isn't about achieving, having the most money compared to somebody else, or having the biggest house, or having as many cars as we can. It's not really about those material goals. It's about experiencing. And how would your life be different if you were just to see it that way? And especially like when we think about our relationship with others, and romantic partners, etc., we often have an idea of what it should look like. We've been told that, okay, you meet someone, then the next step is you need to get married, and then after that you've got to have a family, and then after that everything's kind of laid out for us. But is that really what is the path for everybody? I don't really think so. I think we each have our own individual journeys, and there is no right or wrong. There is no set path that we all need to follow, because we're all unique and we're all different, and we're all here to experience something different. And so if you're, for example, having challenges in a relationship, then just know that that's just part of the journey, that these experiences are a sacred gift, and they're helping you to learn and grow, which really is, I think, the purpose of life, is to, one of many, but to learn and grow is, one of the most amazing things that we'll do on this planet. So yeah, just remember that when, this for me it relates to two, or can be seen in two ways. It's almost, firstly, to be loving to yourself, to recognize that all that you have done, and all that the learning and growth that you have experienced. But then secondly, when it relates to another, is to recognize that that journey with them is also sacred, and all the learnings that you have with them is part of the experience that you're meant to have. So let's see what the tarot cards have to say in addition to this. What's a message for group 2? Message for group 2. Okay. Let's see what these... Okay. Oh, these are lovely cards. I mean, I think all these cards are always lovely. Alright. Okay, so just at the bottom of the deck, you've got the Two of Pentacles. And so when I see the Two of Pentacles, it is about this man juggling. So he's got a lot going on, and he's kind of, you know, almost like, how do I make this all happen? How do I keep things moving and going in the right direction? And that's on the physical level. But then on the emotional level, you can see the ships in the background, and they're kind of going through some waves. So on an emotional level, it's also a bit up in the air as well, like lots of juggling happening, you know, on a physical and emotional level. And so, you know, if that's what you're experiencing, then just know that, you know, it's just part of the journey that you're on. And at this particular moment, that's maybe what you're experiencing, and then in, who knows, a few weeks time, a few months time, it'll shift, and then you'll be experiencing something different. So, you know, whilst you're going through these things, it's about being kind to yourself. And, you know, if you look at this lady here, she just looks like she's at peace, and everyone's just sleeping and resting and, you know, dreaming. And it's just such a, you know, lovely representation of, you know, find that peace within, you know, the craziness that you might be experiencing right now. There's always going to be, you know, during things that may seem difficult and challenging, there's always some good stuff happening as well. Okay, so let's see. So then you've got the Eight of Wands, which is a very active card, lots of activity. So it's almost, perhaps, yeah, interesting enough, tying in with, you know, the bottom of the deck there with the Two of Pentacles. Maybe there is just a lot happening at the moment, and everything's, you know, quite quick and active, and perhaps just struggling to even find the space to think about, you know, love. But during, you know, at times like that, when we're almost so probably busy and in that space of activity, that we need to really slow down and think about, well, how can I be more loving to myself? And, you know, if it feels uncomfortable to think about being loving to yourself, just remember that when you are loving to yourself, it just spreads outwards. And, you know, I think we've almost been taught to think the opposite. By trying to influence our external world will change how we feel internally. But actually, you know, by changing how we feel internally, that's how we influence our external world. So if you are in that activity phase, just be, you know, think of ways that you can be kind to yourself. And you've got Temperance as well, like two major arcana cards, which are kind of like big themes in your life. And there's something about being patient as well. And maybe it's being patient with yourself and being patient with this journey that you're on. Because often, you know, I think we're so used to sort of immediate gratification these days. You know, it's almost like you want something and, you know, you want it now. And actually, you know, there's a time for everything to happen. Especially, you know, like if our journey was just to have everything that we wanted right now, then it wouldn't really be much of a life, you know, it'd be kind of quite unfulfilling. But it's, you know, when we're patient and we go through the process of learning and growing, that we really, you know, appreciate our experience here. And so there's something about just being patient with yourself on this journey, which will help with increasing that loving feeling within you. And then you've got the Fool card, and the Fool is like taking a leap of faith, taking a new step forward, without really knowing where it's going. And so it's such a, I love the Fool card. Maybe there's an area in your life where you're having to take a leap of faith. You don't know how things are going to end up, and generally that is the way, certainly in relationships, we don't often know how things are going to work out, but it's taking that leap of faith and trusting ourselves, knowing that whatever happens, we'll be able to handle it. And so, with the Fool, there's a lot of trust in this. When you take a leap of faith without knowing where you're going, there's a trust. And so, you can increase, the love that you're sort of, wanting in your life by trusting that things will work out. If you are going through this period of activity and lots of different emotions up and down, just trust that things are going to work out. By taking some steps forward into the unknown, that it will just unfold as it's meant to. And then when you do that, you end up with the Nine of Pentacles, which is someone who is abundant, and so abundant in the physical, but also abundant in love and all those things. Like, you look at all the grapes that are growing, so she has everything, and she's in nature and everything is just flourishing, and it's great. So just to quickly summarize, if you want to really increase that love in your life, start with yourself and know that, be easy on yourself. Know that what you're experiencing is perfect, and what you're meant to be experiencing. And be patient with yourself and take that leap of faith, and just trust that things are going to work out, which can be really scary, but it's the one thing that we can really do to help ourselves, just to let go and surrender. And when we do that, then it leaves us in this space of abundance and of getting what we need and what we really want. So I hope that resonates with you, makes sense, group 2, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks, bye. Hi group 3, welcome to your reading on how to increase the love in your life. So let's see what card you've got. So you've got authenticity, let your truth be heard. Oh, so lovely. So to increase the love in your life, it's about really being you and speaking your truth and just being authentically who you are. There's nothing that you need to do as such to increase the love in your life. To be loved and accepted does not mean doing something to have that. It just means being who you really are. And when you do that, then you attract people who see you for who you really are, and appreciate you for you, and not because you're serving a particular role or you're doing something for them. It's just because you're you. And it's not something that we've been taught. Well, I certainly don't really remember that. But it's knowing that we are loved as we are, that there's nothing else that, it's almost like we're so conditioned to believe that we need to do things in order to get love, but actually love is around us all the time anyway, and sometimes we don't see it because of our perspective of what we've been taught love should look like, firstly, and what love really is. Because, for example, when I was younger, my idea of love was that when you loved someone, you worried about them, and I remember being in a relationship, and that was my way of showing love, by worrying, and he was kind of like, why are you worrying about me? And that's when I learned that actually that's just what I had been taught, but actually loving someone is just love. It's not about these other things that we've kind of unconsciously adapted in ourselves. So yeah, you don't need to do anything to be loved. You just need to be you. Let's see what else the tarot has to say about this. It was a very strong message. I feel that it's a really, really strong one. So if you receive this, then yeah, really hear that and see the cards. Let's see what else. I think there's a bit too many up. Let's come through. Let me start again. Right, what does group 3 need to know about increasing the love in their life? What does group 3 need to know? Group 3 need to know to increase the love in their life. Oh gosh, I keep wanting to come out. I'm just going to take them. Right, it's just more than I'm used to taking out, so I'm just going to read them bit by bit. Okay. So at the bottom of the deck, it's a six of wands, which is a victory card, and so it's almost saying you already are successful, but successful in the it doesn't mean successful in terms of achieving all your goals and having all that we've sort of been told equals success, but just means being you is enough. Like, you are successful just by just being you, and you don't need to be any more than that. So let's see what these other cards have said. So I'll just read them one by one and then bring them together. So then you've got the Ace of Cups, which is a new beginning in love, which is great because it's almost saying, it's time to see yourself as you really are. And, there's a very strong message of this group about really loving yourself. The other two, first two groups were slightly different, but this one is really about loving yourself and creating a new relationship with yourself. And you've got the Hangman, which is, you've got someone there who's just hanging upside down, and it seems like nothing is moving, but a lot is happening. He's becoming enlightened. So it's almost like, take that time to just be still and to appreciate yourself and who you are, and to value yourself as you are, without having to do anything. And then you've got the Chariot, which is forward movement, and it's almost about things are moving forward even though they don't seem like it. And it's almost like the more that you can get into this space of being authentic and speaking your truth and being who you really are, then things move forward very quickly. And I don't always read, well, it doesn't matter which way we read it, but the Eight of Swords is about this woman feeling stuck and not being able to move, but really she's free to move, and it's just, the blindfolds and the material around her are very, very loose actually. And so it's about freeing yourself from, because the swords represent our thoughts, free yourself from those old thoughts, that you need to be something, you need to do something in order to be loved, because you don't. You just need to be you. And then you've got the Seven of Pentacles, and this is just someone reflecting. So it's good to reflect and sort of think about what it is that you've achieved, but maybe in the sense of how much have you learnt and grown over the past few months, and really appreciating that. And then you've got the Six of Pentacles, and when I see this, it's firstly I see the scales, which is about balance. And so it's about bringing things back into balance, and especially in terms of how you feel about yourself and about love in your life, and maybe there's some change in thinking that needs to happen there, because if we don't love ourselves, how do we really love another? And how do we, if we can't, if we don't even know what love is, how do we recognize it when we see it? So it's really important to do this work of really recognizing ourselves, or recognizing yourself and being authentic. And then you've got like the Ten of Wands, which is there's someone there who's feeling burdened, and it's about letting go of those burdens, those old thoughts, those old beliefs, those old patterns that no longer serve you. They need to go now. And then you've got the Hierophant, and so this is in this image a religious figure, but it's also about your spirituality, and connecting with that, because your spirituality is about connecting with you and the wider universe. And when you do that, you spend time really getting to see yourself as you really are, that you're a spiritual being and having a human experience. Then you realize that actually a lot of what we see outside of us, if not all of it, is just an illusion, and we're just here to experience that. And so why not be authentic and speak your truth and experience that, rather than being in fear and keeping yourself small. And then you've got the Wheel of Fortune, which is just saying it's time for this change to happen. And if you're already on that path of learning to be authentic and to speak your truth, then it's like encouraging you, saying that's great, keep going with that, because it's really important. And if you haven't yet started it, and this reading is maybe helping you to become aware of it, then it's just really clarifying that it's time for you to start really loving yourself and investing in yourself. Because despite what we've been told, our relationship with ourselves is the most important relationship that we'll ever have. And if we start off well having this relationship, then it just means that all our other relationships have the ability to flourish as well. So gosh, those were quite a lot of cards that came through, but really, like, the main message is to increase the love in your life. It starts with you, so be authentic and speak your truth, and be loving to yourself. And it's like this is a new beginning for you in love, which is wonderful, especially when it starts with yourself. So just take the time to be in that space, to be still, because when you let go of those those old shackles, those old thought patterns, things will move forward. Remember the Chariot, things will move forward. And just take the time to reflect and come into balance. Let go of those old burdens that no longer serve you, those old thought patterns, because they're not really you. You're a spiritual being having a human experience, and so it's about learning and growing and being that authentic self. And it's time for you to step into this. So wow, that was really powerful, group 3. I was not expecting that. I hope that makes sense and that resonates. I would love to hear from you. Leave a comment if you feel called to. It'd be great to see what you think. So yeah, that's your reading, group 3. I'll see you later. Bye.